All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining this All Things Teams in Government call for April. This month, we're going to talk about the Company Communicator app in Microsoft Teams. But before we dive in, let's go ahead and do some quick introductions for those that may be new here. So my name is Darby O'Brien. I am a customer success manager at Microsoft, and I work on the East Coast with customers like Pennsylvania, Delaware, and some in Maryland and Virginia as well.
And my name is Bridget Ballard. I'm a customer success manager as well, and I'm based out of Bellevue, Washington, covering customers across Washington, California, and Nevada.
This week, we wanted to introduce you to a new topic. It's one we have not discussed yet in our series, and that is the concept of custom app templates in Microsoft Teams. So what we're going to do today is we're first going to talk about what are custom app templates? Then we're going to talk about the Company Communicator app and what that entails. Then we will actually do a Company Communicator app demo in our demo tenant to kind of walk through what the completed experience looks like. And then after that, we are going to share with you some next steps if you're interested in learning more, or if this seems like an app you're ready to kind of pursue and get deployed. We've got some great things coming specifically around this one. So it's a great opportunity. So first and foremost, what is an app template? App templates are production-ready apps for Microsoft Teams that are community-driven, open source, and available on GitHub. Each contains detailed instructions for deploying and installing that app for your organization, providing a ready-to-use app. The complete source code is available as well, so you can explore it all in detail and alter it to meet your specific needs. So at the bottom of this slide here, we have linked all of the app templates available at this time. We will, of course, provide this deck per usual on our landing page. Look for it probably early next week. There are so many different scenarios that these apps can provide for, so it's definitely worth checking out. It really will take your Teams client to the next level. So truly some of the best pieces of that are if you like the app as is, after you read about it and you think, oh, this is exactly what we were looking for, it's ready to go. You can deploy it with the instructions on GitHub. Or if there's little pieces of it you like, but some things you want to change or tweak, you can edit the code and change the app template to specifically fit your needs. So the customizable piece there is so important. I think it's so interesting. And also, if you're ready to just use it as is, it's kind of a plug and play experience.
Darby, would you like me to pull up the list of Teams app templates?
Sure, let's take a look at some of those.
Great.
So like I said, today we're going to do Company Communicator, but I would highly encourage you to check out this link that's added at the bottom of this slide because it goes through all of the templates that we have available at this time. There are so many. I won't be able to talk through each and every one of them, so it's definitely worth checking out. After you read about them, there is the link to the GitHub deployment information right underneath each app. So it's really easy to find, and you can read about each app and exactly what it's going to take to get it to deploy. Right, so if you could, yep, there we go. So what we're going to show you today is one of those specific apps, and that is the Company Communicator app. Company Communicator is, again, one of the many app templates you can utilize for your organization. But the Company Communicator app allows leadership, or really whoever you designate as an author, to blast out messages at a large scale. The users are all immediately notified in Teams, either through Teams chat or a Teams channel, and you can be both broad and specific with messaging. So, for example, you may want to remind your entire organization of an upcoming event, or an organizational change, or maybe back to work information. This is a great tool for that. But for a different occasion, maybe you want to send a message just to a certain group of users or to a certain distribution list, a certain agency, etc. You know, maybe you're migrating users in phases and you want to schedule communications for them in line with your migration date. Or maybe a certain agency, delivery center, etc. needs to be updated on a new tool or an announcement. This is also a great tool for that. So there are so many different use cases here. At the bottom of the slide, we actually attach the deployment guide for this specific app if you're interested. You could also find this on the link in the previous slide, but this one takes you right to the GitHub page. So this would be of interest to IT or your team's admin, and it's going to walk them through the deployment. So what Bridget and I want to do today is give you a demo of the fully deployed Company Communicator app. So if you saw that image on the previous slide, sorry, Bridget, it's exactly what we're going to walk through. It's a great example of what that looks like, and we're going to show you both sides of this, the end user who receives the message and the author side, the person who actually curates and sends the message. Just a look at a few other use cases here. We actually attached the EY use case to this deck if you want to read more about it. But they're using this app for great things in their org, like proactive communication, rollout information, training materials, updates, etc., etc. The beauty of this app is notifying people with quick and easy adaptive cards in a place that they already collaborate. I know many of you are already using Teams, and you have probably noticed how much more accountable and receptive people are in Teams. They are likely to ignore an org-wide email because it just gets lost in the noise. But when a notification comes in directly through their personal chat, there are pretty high odds that they read that message. Here's what we have seen thus far. In the next slide there, we have seen an 85% increase in view rate and a 20% increase in click rate. I think those numbers kind of speak for themselves. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Bridget to launch the demo. And then after the demo, we will chat through an upcoming initiative at Microsoft that they're launching with this specific app. So there's really never been a better time to get started. But before next steps, let's take a look at this in action.
Thanks, Darby. I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen. And I'm getting some echo. Can you hear that as well? Oh, there we go. Thanks for muting. All right, so here I am in my GCC demo tenant. Very important to note that this is available in GCC. So right now, what you're seeing is the end user view. As Darby mentioned, we will be walking through both the end user view and what it looks like to actually author one of these. As you can see, my post here is an adaptive card. All that means is that there's the ability to add in images, there's the ability to add in links out to other sites, but that is the method that Company Communicator uses to run all of these notifications. So as you can see, the notification has come in through my chat. As an end user, I will see all of the notifications coming in here through chat. If I want to, I can even pin this as one of my pinned chats up here at the top so that I make sure that all my notifications coming in through Company Communicator are top of mind to me. Here are two examples of ones that we thought would be relevant now to our customers. One being trainings available in the Katoso Learning Portal. A big initiative that we have been running is helping our customers get some sort of learning portal stood up, whether that be through Microsoft Learning Pathways, an adoption hub, or whether you already have a learning and LMS learning system inside of your environment. So within this notification, we simply sent out some more information, a reminder to complete the new training in your learning portal, and telling our users that the learning portal is linked on the left-hand side. Again, this is a great way to call attention to things that you've already deployed in Microsoft Teams to help bring and continue traction to those applications. So I'm giving my user the reminder that they need to complete their training by May 31st, and that training can be found over here in the learning portal on the left-hand side. Now, what I love about this is that you can customize your button. So let's say I want my users to go directly to that training site. I will click Access Trainings here. And for the sake of the demo, we just linked this out to our our public Microsoft Teams video training. So now I'm at the site where I need to go and complete all of my trainings. And it just makes it really easy for end users to be able to understand where they need to go based off the communication that was sent to them. Another one that we thought was important for this time with our customers is return to work updates. So this has been a really big one at Microsoft. We receive updates all the time with things changing, and sometimes it is really hard to keep up with them. This is a great way to make sure that all of your employees see the updates that are coming out. Similar to the notification up top, you'll notice that they look pretty much the same. We've just changed the content within them. So for this one, I'm telling my users to go read our CEO statement about what the most recent return to work updates are. And when I click on that, I've linked it out to our return to work page for Microsoft. So as you can see, you really can direct your end user to any specific URL that you're wanting to point them to. And it's really easy for them to be able to follow along and receive digestible information. Do you have anything else to add on this, Darby, before I jump into how you actually can author one of these?
I don't believe so. I think you covered it.
Awesome. So again, this is the end user view. Another very important part of this is actually the authoring side. The authoring side is done within a channel and a team. So I have my Contoso Communications just general team, and this is where I'm going to add everyone that needs to be an author of Company Communicator. Now, I encourage you all to think broadly on this. Naturally, it's something that communications is going to need to be involved in. Likely your communications team are the ones that are approving and crafting content for the organization. But it's also important to note that these can be sent out to specific organizations. So let's say that your HR department has specific communications that they send out weekly or monthly. A member from HR can be marked as an author for Company Communicator as well, and they can put their specific messages in the queue too. So again, I encourage you to think broadly about who should be included within the authoring, because this tool can be used for way more than just your general communication channel. So as you can see, I have Company Communicator deployed to the top, as I would for any other third-party app or custom application. As I go and add a tab, you see all the familiar ones that you might have available, and then we have some other ones available at the bottom as well. But just want to show you here that I'm adding Company Communicator as if I would add any of these other applications. So I have it deployed here on the top. And this is the author panel in here. At the top, I have all of my draft messages. So let's say that I want to go in and queue up content for the next month. I can actually spend a few hours creating all of my content so that it's ready to go in my draft messages, and that if I wanted to send it out, I can simply go to the 3 ellipses and click send. The messages below are all of my sent messages. So I can easily go into here and see who received them or how many people received them, the sent date. And then if I want to go in here and view the status or actually duplicate my message, I have the ability to within this panel. Oops. So I'd like to show everyone how we actually create a new message and how easy it is to manage. If I want to create a new adaptive card, I'll go up here to new message. And then you'll see my little draft card here on the right-hand side. As I plug in these different fields, my card will actually be built in real time on the side. So for this demo, Darby and I thought it would be helpful to walk through a welcome to Teams notification. Something that we talked about was it can be daunting when a new user is migrated over to Teams and they join Teams and Teams is empty. So wouldn't it be awesome if Company Communicator was already installed and when they turned on Teams, they had a welcome to Teams message? Same goes for really any sort of training use case if you're migrating over to Teams. So we're just going to walk through a sample adaptive card that you could make as your users are migrating over to Teams, or even if you're trying to gain more adoption around Teams. And Darby, feel free if there's anything you want to add in the summary to jump in here too. But we'll start with just a general title. We can say, welcome to Teams. And Contoso is my fake company that I have here. So welcome to Teams. Contoso Teams is now live. Your image URL, you can simply go via the web and pull a URL to an image that you want to link this to. For the sake of time, I've actually already pre-saved my logo here. So I'll just right click on my logo image from Bing, copy image link. I'll go back into Company Communicator and paste that link here. You'll notice in real time, I automatically get my image popping up on the right-hand side. And then I can simply write a short summary. Welcome to Teams. And say something like, welcome to Teams. Teams training will be delivered throughout the next few weeks. Be on the lookout for the training list. Even better, let's say you've also already deployed your learning pathways, or you have a third-party vendor where you have all of your training tied into Teams. I could say something as well as, please view all trainings in the learning app on the left side. So as you can see, this really helps get my user acclimated to Teams, and this would be a great first message for them to see when they jump in here. So I'm just going to delete this so that it makes a little bit more sense, and I'll leave the bottom piece. Something that Darby and I also thought would be helpful is if you have a general learning email, or sorry, a general help email, let's say for your HR, your learning team, we like to put, if you need assistance, please contact, I'll just say help desk. But you also give your users instructions where to go if they need help. Author, I'll just say, is Bill Gates. And then my button title. So you can name your button title anything that you want. Again, this is the name that you will be giving the URL that you tie to it. So I'm going to link my team's trainings to this. So I might just say click here to get started. And then my button URL, I'm going to use just our general Teams video training site. And you'll see my adaptive card is done. So as I click next, this is how you send it out to your organization. You can send it out to specific teams. You can send it out to everyone, or you can even send it out to specific groups, distribution groups, or security groups. For the sake of this demo, I'm going to send it out to everyone so that you can see how it goes into the chat. But just know that as you prepare this, let's say that you have an entire Health and Human Services team and you're preparing a communication just for that team, you can actually specify that. So this is our test team, but if you had a Health and Human Services team, you could simply click that team and only the communication would go out to that channel. So you can have it either go out via the channel or via the chat. And you'll notice that when you read through these, it will specify send to the general channel of a specific team or send to the chat. So again, I'm going to send in chat, and this is going to send it out to everyone in my organization. So I'll save as a draft. And now you can see it in my draft messages. So a few things that I can do. Let's say that I want to preview this before I send it out to the entire organization. I can click preview in this channel. And then when I go to post of this general channel, here is my demo. So again, this did not go out to everyone. I'm just previewing it to make sure that it looks how I want it to, that it makes sense, and that it's going to be easy for end users to comprehend. So as I go back into Company Communicator, let's say that I'm ready to send it along. I click on the 3 ellipses and all I do is click send. It will give me a send confirmation confirming that I want to send to the following recipients. And then as I click send, you notice it will say queued as it sends to everyone. It will show when the sent was finally completed over here. So you'll notice that I got a chat up in my left-hand corner. And my chat was from Company Communicator that a card was sent. So this is the workflow of Company Communicator, starting with what we saw, the end user navigation, and then moving into what it looks like to be an author in Company Communicator. So I know that was a lot, Darby. I haven't been monitoring the chat, but are there any questions on anything that needs to be repeated?
We do have some great questions in here. One of them from the author point of view, could you show in that ellipses there all the controls you have after a message has been sent?
Sure.
We had a question specifically about if a message can be recalled. I think it's a great message. I just think we'll have to look and test a little.
So you can view the different, basically kind of the analytics around it, how long it took to send, the success rate, if it bounced from anyone, and then you can export these details. We would need to test to see if there's a way to recall, but just looking at it here, there's an ability to view the analytics around it and then duplicate it. But we can answer that in our Q&A as well, Darby, that we post after the meeting.
Awesome. Another question we've got here that I'll just let you answer for the whole group is Company Communicator available for GCC?
Yes, it is. Very exciting.
Another question here is, how many authors can there be? Can the head of different agencies be authors? Might just want to address that a little.
Yeah, so I don't believe there's a limit to the amount of authors. I'll double check that for sure. I think it's going to come down to the process that you set up as a best practice internally. It is going to be different for every organization based off of who you want to give authorization to. Typically, kind of the best practice is to deploy one company communicator throughout the organization. There could be a possibility to implement multiple ones, but you would kind of want to work out an internal plan for how you wanted to manage adding people to the team, who you want to be an author, how those communications will be developed.